We are miles behind Chelsea. Believe Africa.
Don't even start it. Miles behind Chelsea. Is that what we're saying? Miles behind Chelsea.
Here we go.
No, this is what we're saying.
Right.
Because I've
Hold on.
seen
Just
this.
gonna go on mute. Hold on 1 second.
I've seen this. I've seen this. Chelsea, after that game, they're 10th. They're 5 points behind us. And we're behind them somehow. Is that what we're realistically saying? And don't get me wrong, Chelsea this season, they've played well in the big games. Can't fault them for that. Today, they deserve to beat Man City. I thought they were really unlucky. One penalty that was a joke, another's a deflected goal. They should win that game. But they've also, who have they lost to at home this season? They lost to Forest. They lost to Brentford. I think they've drawn with Villa at home. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, they're going, I don't know about Poch. Is he going to get time? Is he going to end up like Graham Potter? So I think Roberto De Zerbi's another one. De Zerbi, but we want that at Man United. They haven't won a game in 5 games. Where are they at the moment? They're eighth in the league. Ange Postecoglou, we want Ange ball. They haven't won the last 2 games either. You know, they get a couple of injuries. They lose against Wolves, a team we beat, by the way, but we still did beat them earlier on the season. And suddenly it's, got to be unlucky, Ange. Injuries are tough. Are you taking the piss? Injuries are tough. Injuries. This is when I go back to it's unlucky for other teams, but for us, it's incompetence. For us, it's unacceptable. For us, it's the manager's clueless. I mentioned this morning. I mean, look, I'm not saying Man United are good, right? Because we're not. We're not good. And I'm not saying yesterday's performance was great, because it wasn't great. But if you look at the facts recently, we've won, was it 4 out of our last 5, right? We're the most informed team in the Premier League on points at the moment. Andre Onana, a player that we're saying is terrible, awful goalkeeper, conceding goals. He's got the joint second most clean sheets in the league at the moment. We won Golden Gloves last season. He still might win it this year as well. Is it sustainable? I don't know. I don't think it is because, again, we're playing poor quality sides. But you also look at the game yesterday, and after coming out of that game, I thought we'd lost the way people were talking on social media. It's terrible. I've never seen anything like it. Awful. Man United, we scraped. Someone said we scraped past Luton. We scraped past. We should have won 5-0. We had our XG, and I didn't even like XG, right? Neither. But our XG was 2.21. Theirs was 0.45. You know, if you want to count all of the chances, you can go Højlund, he had 2. Garnacho, he had 2. Rashford had 1. That's 5 right there. I'd be far more concerned coming out of the game yesterday if we won 1-0 and we went, and that was the only chance we created. Realistically, the same issue we have at the moment is the same issue we had last season, which is actually, for all of this talk about how bad defensively we are in the league, we just don't score goals. If you actually look at our defense, goals conceded versus everyone in the, say, top 8, United have conceded 16 goals. Newcastle, they've only conceded 3 less. Brighton, they've conceded, how many is that? 5 more than us. Villa, they've conceded 1 more than us. You could look at Spurs, they've conceded 1 less than us. Right? Then you get into the top 3. Their defense is unbelievable. That's why they're top 3, 10, 10, 12. For us, 16. What really sets us apart negatively as well, we've scored 13 goals this season in the Premier League. 13. Right? So then you look at Brighton, they've scored 25. Newcastle, 27. Villa, 29.
Disgusting.
Spurs, 24. Arsenal, 26. Liverpool, 27. City, 32. That's what's letting us down. So for all of this sort of talk and narrative about how terrible we are, how rubbish we are, I get we're not playing very well, but you still do have to look at the league and you have to look at what Ten Hag is doing. Points from the first 50 Premier League games. Arteta, 75. Jurgen Klopp, 92. Ten Hag, 96. Better than Klopp, better than Arteta. Guardiola, he's ahead on 112. Not even that far actually behind Ten Hag with that. Fastest Premier League manager to 30 wins as well. So, and this is a manager that is inept, clueless, falling out with everyone, and people want out for who? And then when you say who, people can't actually tell you who they would want instead. They just want somebody else. They want Ange Postecoglou because the media like him. They want Roberto De Zerbi because he's playing nice football with Brighton, even though they haven't won in the last 5 or 6 games in the Premier League. So that's when I just sort of go, we need to not buy into what the media is doing, because if you look on TalkSport, if you look at on social media, and you look at all this kind of stuff about how terrible we are, how rubbish we are, I see Gabby Agbonlahor start counting up how much it's worth yesterday, even though the same Luton side drew in Liverpool last week, suddenly not really counting up that money that much, are they? Or you look at the Spurs side, which they're raving about, only beat them 1-0 as well. Same result as us. Granted, it was away. But the point being is that we can't buy in to what they're doing. Because if we buy in to the negative that they're giving us, then we're already screwed. We're already screwed. And look, I'm still like everyone else. Going into those games after the international break, away from home, That's a big test. Newcastle away, shitting bricks. Okay. When it comes to, was it Everton, Galatasaray? I don't know about that. I'm worried. But I don't get the sort of the piling on, the proper, we're awful, we're rubbish. We're the worst team in the league. That's what we are, guys. I don't know if you've heard or seen. We're the worst team in the league. We'd rather be Chelsea in 10th. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Claps in the chat.